Trujillo is a town in western Spain. El Castillo, a medieval stone fortress, sits on a hill overlooking the city center. The Korea Museum has exhibits on regional ties between Spain and Latin America. The life of the conqueror Francisco Pizarro, who conquered the Inca Empire, is struck in the Pizarro House Museum, his former home. An equestrian statue dedicated to him stands in the Plaza Mayor. Trujillo, a stroll through Spain, most romantic village. Trujillo is Extremadora's most beautiful town when its main square is floodlit at night. It is one of the most beautiful in Spain and most romantic village in Spain. Trujillo has some fine medieval buildings, but it is the architecture of the 50th and 60th century that is particularly impressive. At this time, many conquistadors built beautiful mansions and palaces in Trujillo. Many of these have been influenced by their own travels in the Americas. Trujillo is built on a hill at the top of which is Moorish palace, built to defend Trujillo against the Spaniards in the Reconquest, but in 1232 it was taken and became part of Christian Spain. This is the Plaza Mayor in Trujillo. Did you know that the Plaza Mayor is essentially the main square in Trujillo? It is one of Spain's most spectacular plaza. The square is surrounded by Baroque and Renaissance stone buildings with intricate, beautiful facades backed by skyline of towers and turrets. It's simply a pretty place to walk around and arguably one of the most and more romantic city areas in all of Spain. The main attraction is a bronze statue of the famous conquistador Francisco Pizarro. The Plaza Mayor of Trujillo is a large square, the edges of which include several palaces and churches as well as bars and restaurants. The square is one of the best examples of 16th century Renaissance and architecture in Spain. If you want to stay near the Plaza Mayor and in a very special place, the Hotel Paradol de Trujillo in the ancient convent Santa Clara is your perfect place to stay. Castillo de Trujillo is the most striking structure in town, built on a hill overlooking the main city. It's difficult to say precisely how old it is, because it's essentially a 13th century castle built on top of an Arab fortress that dated back to the 800s. It was already one of the main things to see in Trujillo before gaining new renown in 2017. Santa Maria Church in Trujillo. The full name for this attraction is Iglesia de Santa Maria la Mayor, and like the city itself, it represents a blend of history and architecture, supposedly a Visigoth temple meaning pagan. At its origin, it was converted to a mosque during Muslim rule of the area, and later on became a Christian church. The construction and artistry of the church demonstrate all of these influences, making it a particularly interesting old building to explore, especially if you have an interest in history or architecture. The Pizarro statue in town may be a fraud, but Pizarro himself and the Conquistador his memory represent is a legend Spanish explorer of the New World, are currently the subject of one of the most popular games on the internet. an animated slot set in Peru in 1541. Additionally, there are light rumors of Leonardo DiCaprio film about the conquest of the Aztecs. The Spanish Conquistador may have a negative reputation, but it's a very important one in a history which makes this museum one of Trujillo's most amazing attractions. It's a preserved and converted 15th century home believed to have belonged to the Spanish Conquistador may have a negative reputation, but it's a very important one in a history which makes this museum one of Trujillo's most amazing attractions. It's a preserved and converted 15th century home believed to have belonged to the Pizarro family. We have more on him below, but this is actually an interesting statue in that it wasn't made for its current purpose. It was sculpted to resemble Hernan Cortez and given to Mexico. But Mexico has a very negative general opinion toward Cortez. So the statue was repurposed and now represents Pizarro. And before anything else, I would like to thank for the following YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Pabsi OFW Official. Thank you so much, El Sabor, Ilocano Vlog, my favorite member and my super chatter. Abby There For You, my favorite member. And last but not the least, Third and Ali Channel, Luto Series with Mars Bell, my super chatter. Thank you.